Good morning, lovelies, and welcome to a lovely Sunday morning of Breaking the Block. Yes, today is the show where we have writerly chats. We talk about breaking the block. Today's topic, we are going to be talking about cover images, mood boards, music playlists, non-writerly things that help writers write. So we have a lot to talk about today. What? Okay, remove that, add that. Yes, thank you very much. Okay, so one of the things that I like to do when I am doing these is where is that? Where is that? I like to have images. So um, I I write all over the place. I do all these things. So I have to have very different images for very different books and very different playlist for very different books. And no. Sorry. Um, it is the thing that helps a lot of writers. We're not just word people, we're visual people. There are some people who are not visually acute, like they don't see things in their head, which when I found that out, it completely blew my mind. I was just like literal shock when I'm like, what do you mean you can't see it in your head? And they're like, what do you mean, what do you mean? And so um I wanted to talk today about if you get stuck with a scene, with an image, how can having something, not words, help you move forward with that? So I was going to start off first of all by sharing with you examples. This is these are the images that I have for Pagosa Cliff's anemones for all of the different characters. This is like this is Millie and Mac. This is Millie with a stand-in for Lloyd and baby Emily. Just different characters like that. This is the character of Jackson. I love this actor. He's like 6 feet 8 inches tall. So yeah, that's the whole reason I picked him for Jackson. And he's a ginger, and I just love him. Um, this is the Beale brothers, what they look like. Um, her sister Marnie Ann, and then I have images for Millie, and I play with all of these different images for the main character just to help me have an idea of what she looks like. This is Mitchell Abernathy. Um, just all these different images of Millie and the other characters to just keep my mind focused on who that is. But it's, and then of course, because it's a bakery story, share screen. I have to have all of the different bakery and cake inspired images. Just it goes on and just so many. And this gives me a way to describe things that I'm trying to describe, ideas to talk about in the book, more than just, I love this sample plate. Red velvet plate, golden velvet, and chocolate with um, blackberry or raspberry jam. Um, yeah, I'm a foodie. Hi, yeah, my name is Mama Maggie. I do a lot of baking and I love food. Um, so this allows you to open this part of your brain in such a way that Pagosa Cliffs, of course, this is actually Pagosa Springs, Colorado, but having visual pictures like this gives you like an idea, not of your actual town. Like I use a town that is a combination of Pagosa Springs and um, Telluride and Ouray, Colorado. I just kind of moshed those three towns together. But having an image like this of something very similar to the town setting that you want allows you to stimulate a part of your brain to make it more than just a white room, to give your characters more than just this, You know how when the fog comes in and you can only see like a few 100 feet and then there's like this bubble and the world is just gray beyond it? Having images like this allows you to expand that gray bubble beyond what you're going to see. So I'm just going to let it rest on that image, and I'm going to get back to the chat. Hello, Cat Paw. Good morning. First time I've had the laptop out since we moved to Lucky. I hope that you are able to find a place soon, Cat. I really, really do. So there is a lot of things you can do to world build to help you create a very environmental feel for your world. And having this visual representation to touch on the world you've created, the world you're building, what is actually around your characters helps greatly, because there's a lot of times that you'll be looking at something and you'll be like, I have no idea. I have no idea what this is. Hold on, I'm fast forwarding through all of my old. We're going to talk about covers in a minute. Another thing I do is I will make these mood boards for when I'm writing, so that you can see like this is the mood board for when I was writing Anemones in the Wind, Max Sailboat. That was the first cover image that I had for it. Jackson Lloyd Mitchell, a cake that Millie was working on. Of course, I have to have the anemones in it, and then Millie on one of her vacations. So having this like on the background of my computer screen, this really does help me determine, what is the feel of this book? What are the images that I need to focus on for this book that I'm writing on? What are things that are going on in this book? What are events in this book and places in this book? So setting up to have these really, really helps. Hello, Kat. How are you? Sorry, I have an itch. I had dinner outside with hubby last night, and I had rubbed against him, and I had his smell on me, and a mosquito found his smell and bit me. So these kind of images helps touch a part of your mind that you might not necessarily be focused on, that you might not necessarily be I'm trying to think about how to say this. They help you by giving the words that you don't know something tangible to focus on. Now, I personally am not a fan of putting up character art, because I like for the readers to create their own ideas. I know a lot of people will put up like, this character looks like this actor, this character looks like this actor, this setting, and I appreciate that, but sometimes I've seen like character art come up and I was like, wow, that's not how I imagined that character in my brain at all. So yeah, it's a me thing. But I will do art just for myself. Just for myself. I very rarely put out character art. Now there is one thing that like people will say, for like you're trying to write something or you're starting to write something and you get blocked. They will recommend making cover art. And make a fake cover for your book. Get some images, play with them, move the words around, change the font, try to create this general idea of what you want. You're starting the book, you don't really have much going on with the book, but you need some kind of an image to, like, okay, this is, and there are people who do their cover art right at the very beginning when they're doing all their creative processes. And because I do my betas on Wattpad and Inkit, I have to have an image to go. So I will create something like, I started off with this cake, and then I put it in front of this really fancy kind of wallpapery background. It was just this cake on the white table with this. And then I put in this background and I put in a picture frame. And then I didn't like it that way, so I flipped it around. And then I started putting the words on it. I put the tagline at the top: Hot Break always offers a choice, bitter or better, which the bitter or better, you have to choose between being bitter or becoming better. And that is a theme through the whole series. Betrayal always offers the choice, bitter or better. Played with the fonts, moved things around, zoomed in, zoomed out. And this is just what I did as part of this process of just creating mood boards and faux covers. And Enemies in the Wind, this was one of the covers that I had played with. Of course, all the images of flowers and just amazing cake images, because when you write a baker, you need cake images. This is an image that I had found that I thought that helped me, that I had on the mood board for the Summon Enemies Are Blue. Yeah. So I found a picture of a piece of antique jewelry that I used in the book. This was a cake. Las Vegas, they're from Lloyd's and Marine. Just all these kind of things to help just keep the whole vibe of the book running while I was writing. And it's a way to break through that barrier when you don't know where you're going. You don't know what you're doing. You don't know what direction you're going to go. And yeah. But yeah, this another thing that I did was I had but you can see all those images. They're very much contemporary images. They're very much set in like modern places, modern times and stuff like that. And then because I write in multiple genres and I have to hop around and stuff, I have other folders for other storylines that are completely different. And you see all the beautiful mountains and cakes and things like that for Goes Cliffs. And then when I have to change gears to write sci-fi fantasy, I have a completely other folder that I literally just start on the background as a wallpaper on my computer and as a screensaver. And there are, in this file, this is for the Relic of Time Wars, there are literally 2,000, 3,000 photographs that are in this file. And yeah, I found a real life Daisy and Caleb, a real life guy. The guy is the guy who played the Mountain in Game of Thrones, and his wife, she's like 5 feet tall. He's like 7 feet tall. they're an adorable couple. So this was my idea for Kayla and Daisy. Um, and then all of the different places, like Daisy's research center and spaceships versus some of the places that they have to go to figure out things in the series. And it's it's very interesting the way your brain will cycle through things when you have um, something reference point to look at. It also, whoops, it also helps you to not have white room syndrome, which I think is very important. Um, Now, for the next question, it was like, do you have a music playlist? Um, for your music, for like just music, for tones, for setting, for things to um, allow you to be creative in a way that, where am I? Where am I? I've got to find the right tab. And I am a huge fan. I very much recommend having and keeping a playlist. Um, I need screen share. Um, all right. Is it going to show up? Yes, it did. Okay. So this is my back end. You can see I've got like tons of playlists on here. But one of the things that I have is like I have these playlists for different musics. And I'm not going to play anything. Oh, it's an ad. Hold on a second. We have to get past the ad. Skip the ad. Mute that. But you can see that, like for Stone Skin, the Western Queen, I have an entire playlist, 74 songs set up that allows me to go through and to get into that character's mindset, to get into that character's world. Songs that relate to the character development. There are some playlists that I have that literally are just one character's voice. And for the Revelation Night series, the playlist that I have for this book, the music is in order of the chapters they inspired. I had, when I was writing that one, I had one chapter that would be, okay, this is this chapter's theme song. This is this chapter's theme song. This is this character's motivation song in this part of this chapter, and just on and on and on, all the way through 61 songs in a playlist. There are some people who, for they don't do playlist. They will do mood writing, where they will set up. They will choose a genre of music, and that will be their playlist for writing a specific thing. When I was writing Cat Lady, how I became a crazy cat lady to survive the zombie-apocalypse. Millie liked not Millie. Babs liked electro swing music. And so I have an entire playlist that is nothing but that style of music, just for the character Babs in How I Became a Crazy Cat Lady. and it creates an environment mindset for the character. And pull that down. But like I said, there are some people that they need to listen to rain. They need to listen to um, wind. They need like Chinese flutes. They need Tibetan bells. They like castle mystique. They like rain on the moors. There are so many different types of just sound music where you or background sounds. There's coffee shop. You can get coffee shop with jazz. You can get coffee shop with binaural beats. You can get coffee shop with lo-fi. You can get all of these things that have no words whatsoever in the music, and it's just the sound that is important. I mean, you can get completely ambient sounds like they use in movies, wind sounds. The cracking ice sound. I knew someone who was writing a like polar kind of dystopia, and they would listen to wind howling and cracking ice, and that I could not write to that. That one tapped some skeevy part of my brain that was like, oh no, no, not that sound. So yeah, there are people who listen to the solfeggio frequencies. They um, just whatever they want. Tickling the ivories. Bobby says, I like Christian lo-fi music. Awesome. Um, Having the ability to take the busy part of your brain that distracts you from the words coming out is a very, very good thing to do. Because even people without ADHD have like people without ADHD have their busy brain and their resting brain. And they go like they have to keep the worries and all of the I have to do this, I have to do that, this is distraction, that's distraction. They have to keep that part of the brain busy while they work on the creative brain. Now, for people who are atypical, people with ADHD, people with multifocal attention disorder, people who are always, people with autism, people with Asperger's, people whose brains, everyone's like, oh, you're so focused. Well, the thing is, you have to learn to be focused. People with OCD, we have basically learned to shut off all the other noise in our brain and just go beep, stay on target, stay on target, stay on target. And that's the way we do things. But there a lot of times, the world is loud. But one of the problems is because we are now so digital, we are constantly stuck in this everything being input all the time. And everybody raise your hand in the chat if you have been working, thought, oh, I'll take a little social media break, I'll take a little reels break, I'm going to go look at these things, and an hour later you're like, where did the time go? Because literally our computers, our laptops, our digital things, yes, I am shaking mine, this is also a level of distraction that you need to see that is keeping you from doing things. Okay, next question. Do you write on a device, and does it become its own source of distraction? While using technology is great because a lot of us can type or dictate a lot faster than we can write, there are issues with completely being sucked into this idea that, this is, this is the new technology. This is the way we have to do things now. To think, no. Sometimes the thing that gets us stuck, sometimes the thing that inhibits our creativity the most is the method we have chosen to output our creativity. So sitting here, typing, go and get a drink, go and say, oh, I got a ping. I got a notification. Let's go check that note. Oh, I might need to check that notification. It's just for a minute. Something posted on Facebook. Somebody posted on TikTok or Twitter or X or Blue Sky. Oh, I'm just going to check that. It'll just a minute. It'll just take a minute. An hour later. You've lost an hour of writing time because you basically ended up in the Walmart time zone equivalent of the internet. And if you know what the Walmart time zone is, Walmart is designed so when you walk into Walmart, it is designed that you lose track of time. And hello, Faye, how are you? Yeah. So that's what the internet is, only it's on this massive scale. And the thing is the internet is designed to keep you on it because reels and podcast and things like that, all these short little niblets are designed to give you an endorphin hit. Cat videos are famously famous for making everyone happy. Cat videos, dog videos. I happen to know Sam is in love with baby otter videos. Things like that. They draw you in. And so the method that you're using to get your creativity out has become the thing blocking your creativity because it is the demigod of distraction. So what do you do about that? How do you deal with the fact that this is the way this is, I'm typing and everything, but I can't keep going typing? My suggestion, switch to pen and paper. I know that seems old school. It seems like, oh, you're showing your age and everything. This writing down generates a different type of mindset. Everyone knows that I talk about having to switch things up, having to switch from one writing level to another, change your font, change your ink color, change your formatting in the document you're writing in to change the way your brain perceives the thing. Order a print copy. I have a video on this. Go back and check my video about ordering a print copy for editing, because handling this, writing in this with an ink pen or colored pencil to edit a document changes the way your brain perceives all of these words that you've written and read and listened to 1,000 times. And that is why we have to do it. Is because our brain, if we see something too many times, especially digital media, our brain will autocorrect it, even though what you are looking at is not correct. And if you saw it in any other format, you would know that it is not correct. But you have seen it so many times in this format that seeing it in this format changes it, how your brain perceives it. And it's well known fact, it is well documented that people who are only exposed to digital media, not only does your brain autocorrect, but they can change that digital media and you will not realize it has been changed. They have been doing this since the early 2000s. I haven't written one word in 2.5 months, but came up with an idea for a new novel. Um, what is, if you don't mind me asking you out on the spot here, Angel, what is keeping you from starting to write it? I mean, do you not have time? Is like mom life, world life, writer life colliding? Um, Rita says, writing in pencil is my jam. I too believe it does take a different part of your brain because the tactile sensation, just typing, does not have the same mental bandwidth. It does not take up the same part of your brain as actually creating the letters while you're writing. There is something about combining movement with something that changes your perception of it. When I was back, in the early 90s, 91, 90, 90, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 95, when I was in college, I would take crochet to class. I would record my professor on a little thing because we had these little recorders, actually little cassette recorders with little micro cassettes. I would take my cassette recorder to class. I would record the things. I had a pencil and notebook if there was something that the professor said that I felt like I needed to write down more than once. And I would sit in class and crochet because it would keep this busy while my brain was focusing. Typing does not do that. Typing does not fulfill that itch of having part of your body busy while your brain is. Writing does. And let's see. Angel says it is a combination of 3 lives. This idea I came up of an ordinary female detective finds out she can see magical creature in her world and hears their cries for help. But also the outline I had didn't help me with the series I wanted to work on. Is it distracting you from writing your current series? Because we all have that shiny object. We're working on something and we have that shiny object syndrome, shiny story syndrome. Yes, this is why I have I have almost 200 story seeds that I'm going to be pulling on for all the words August. Bobby says, do you have any suggestions for people who are writing their memoir but can't get past a certain point because the memory is too painful? Yes. We have talked about before, like when you're writing a place and there's a place in the book that for some reason you cannot get past that, skip over it. Skip over it and come back to it. Because when you are writing a story, when you are writing a memoir, when you are doing something like this, there is always something beyond the story event that is blocking you. So skip past it, right to the end. I am the kind of writer who I do not write in order necessarily. When I use a method that I learned back in 1990 called 90 and 91 called Writing the Tree. And it's literally where you write a bunch of scenes from a story and then you put them in order. So I write chronologically in my plot outline, but I don't necessarily write a whole story. When I start world building, I will have scenes from the complete end of the book. Another weird thing I do is I write everyone's death scenes. No one has plot armor. No one has plot armor in my books. If there is a scene that has stopped your writing, if it's painful, too close to home, if it's a real event, that event has emotional weight for you. And that emotional weight is becoming a wall. And sometimes you can't break through that wall. And that is okay because Everything that you feel associated with that is valid. So my suggestion is skip to the next event, skip further down the road, continue writing. And after you see mostly of it done, when you have some strength in yourself to go back and face this wall, go back to it and write it. Or because this, I write overcomer fiction. And my character Millie, and I will be completely honest with you, I've had decades of therapy to deal with the crap that my parents put me through. One was a violent alcoholic, violent abuser, and the other was a toxically codependent person with abusive tendencies. And I've had decades of therapy. And there are things in my books that I write that deal with, they're fictionalized accounts of trauma that I went through, like being molested as a child, being assaulted as an adult. Writing can be a form of therapy, but you have to write it when you are in a place that you can face it. That's just me personally. I'm not a therapist. This is what I have learned from therapy. I am okay sharing these events because I realize that silence is the reason that these events keep perpetuating themselves, and that no one should be shamed for the things they've suffered. And if it's a loss situation, I have written child loss in my books, which is something that I suffered with. I had 4 miscarriages and was lucky enough to have 3 daughters born healthy. 2 of them almost didn't survive the pregnancies, and I'm grateful that I had managed to successfully carry 3 pregnancies to term with my history of miscarriages. So I write difficult subjects because I write overcomer fiction, and some of these events I had to write after I wrote the rest of the book, because I knew they were going to take me into a place, and I didn't want to taint how much I love the story. And that is my suggestion for you, Bobby, is to skip past that scene that is so painful that you can't write it right now, and go on to something else. Because as humans, we like to box up our pain, and we like to attach emotional weight to things. And you don't want the weight of this particular memory to completely stop the rest of your memoirs. I hope that helps. Yeah, I had to completely relearn how to crochet after my stroke. And I used to be really, really good at crocheting. And now I really, really suck at crocheting, because I've had to switch to left-hand crochet because my right side was the paralyzed side. And so I can't always make my right side do what I need it to do. So fortunately, I'm ambidextrous. So switching was not that hard for me. But my left side crochet is not as neat as my right side crochet used to be. So, yeah. Yeah, I feel it is. I feel that online isn't helping me. It is definitely a distraction. Yes, this right here, the mom life, chasing children, running a farm, taking care of all of that stuff. I didn't write for decades. After I got out of college, I did not write for decades. And then I had my stroke, and I had to relearn language and relearn how to write and relearn how to type and all of that stuff. Writing became an avenue of recovery. Sorry, I need a drink. What is everyone drinking today? I am having iced coffee with honey. And of course, it's honey from my beehives. It's honey from the anemone's hive today. So, all right. Another thing, Jules, one of the things Jules will do when she gets stuck is she also will switch to writing, but she's got a texture thing. So she will get like notebooks. Like I love these little tiny notebooks because they have very nice thick paper in it. But I also have this notebook, just a standard high school notebook, and it's got like really like thin paper in it that I write in. So change your texture. Another thing, change your location. If you are always in the same place writing all the same time and you find yourself becoming blocked, it could be that like you're in the wrong place. Like sometimes I will sit in the living room with my family around me writing just to feel them. Sounds good. It looks like everybody's doing coffee and iced coffee today. Yes, hello. Welcome to my Cafe Frappe 2025 streams. So I know it sounds weird, but there is a reason that method actors are so good. And everyone's like, "Oh, a method actor." No. Be a method actor. Be a method writer. I'm a huge advocate. When I am setting up for a new book, I will change the scents around me. I will change, like, this is my little writing recording closet, but I also have, my husband and I share a desk. And we have, like, back-to-back desks, so we can be together. When he's working on his stuff and I'm working on my stuff, we can be, like, right there. Another thing, like sit in the living room and write, sit in the kitchen and write. Sometimes I go outside and sit under the tree and write. We have a backyard with a table that I can fold up the umbrella on. It is underneath my locust bean tree, and I can sit out there and write. If I am setting up for a new book, I know this sounds like I sound like an insane person when I say this, but I will make a menu for the world I am writing in. I will scented candles. I will change the colors around me to something that helps me set into the mindset of this thing. That I will write in my bedroom. I have a desk in my bedroom that I will write at. I will sit at the kitchen table. Or the dining table. I will sit at the kitchen bar. Move your location. Sometimes, when you are in the habit of going and sitting in the same place, it starts to feel like going to the office. It starts to feel like something you don't want to do. And by doing the thing you love in a new place, go to a coffee shop, go to the library, find a new location to try to change things. Rita says, location is key. I can't write in the living room, even if I'm alone. I used to be able to write at the kitchen table too. I write mainly at my desk. I have an entire room and sometimes my desk. Yes. Kat says, though you were talking about the images, I got some reference photos because I want to try and do art of stuff in my book. I specifically want to draw the archive from Briar's Hollow. Oh, that will be cool. That will be cool. I'm looking forward to that. It gets too cluttered with stuff like rocks and Nick. Yeah. Hello. Welcome back. Yeah, we're talking about another way, a non-writer way to change your environment around you. Like I was saying, I get scented candles. I will change what I'm eating, change what I'm drinking. When I was writing Steamer's Tea and Coffee House, I was changing. I was making fancy coffees like every day that I was writing. fancy coffees and French pastries. Um, when I was writing The Flame Burning Within, it was always um, um, green tea because that's the main character's favorite drink. Green tea and lemon ginger cookies or sesame cookies. Um, for the Relic of Time War series, Daisy and David are coffeeholics, so it was just coffee all the time. But it was all different things. And a weird thing is when I would be writing Daisy, I know this sounds crazy, but I would eat slightly burnt popcorn because Daisy can't cook and she tends to burn everything she eats. So yeah, I don't know why that became my snack of choice, but it did. When I was doing the Pagosa Cliffs books, I am always baking uh, cupcakes of every flavor that you can imagine, every flavor combination, and the books, all the Pagosa Cliffs books have recipes in the back, and they're all recipes that I have made. So it's changing the other stimuli around you, changing how you're outputting your creativity will give you another avenue to express that creativity because these are the non-writer things that it's like you can't, not all of us can be like Stephen King and go sit in a dark office before even having a cup of coffee and spit out 2,000 words. I'm sorry. You can have my cuppa when you pry it from my cold dead hand. So, all right. Oh, take care of yourself, Bobby. Um, stay safe. Yeah, the weather, summer weather. It seems like we've got a lot of really weird storms. Like especially in our area, we never have storms at this time of year. Usually the storms are east of us out on the prairie, and we're having them like every day. It's like the monsoon showed up. Usually the monsoon is May and June, and the monsoon has showed up late. Hello, Eva. How are you? Stay safe. I see the weather's getting crazy where you are today, too. All right. Any other questions? Anything else we want to talk about non-writing ways to help you creatively get over the block that you are struggling with? Shyly, no, 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 no. She wants my coffee. She wants my coffee. Rita says, a lightning storm came through last night. The lights were amazing on the drive home. And then the rain hit. And it lasted for hours, but we were home when it hit the worst. Yeah. Faye says, I am working on an outline to help me. She's got, yeah. She's always drinking my tea and my coffee because she knows it's got cream in it. She's such a spoiled girl. Yeah. Do you know she'll be 3 this fall? She'll be 3 in November. Okay. How'd you go? Such a mess. All right. Yeah. Heat warnings. Same here in Colorado. It's where we live, it's already it's not even 10 o'clock in the morning and it's already 90 degrees. So yeah. It is going to be a very warm day. Yeah, I because I have brain damage from my stroke, and because it is extremely easy for me to get blocked and for me to get distracted. I I tend to have like multiple hacks for trying to get out of having my brain broken. All right. Last thing then I'm going to go into is a bunch of us from AuthorTube have this thing coming up. It is called All the Words August. We are going to be hosting um, it's not really a write-a-thon. It is more of a developing a writing routine to help you get into fall and into winter writing. And we have I this has started off a thing that a friend of mine that was doing, and sadly she passed from COVID. And I just kept doing it alone. And then at the AuthorTuber Writing Conference, we were talking about it, and they were like, "You should get people to do this." And we need a mid tier, because what she would do is she would write 18K, edit 80K. Well, I'm a wordaholic, so I'm like, I'm gonna write 80K. Yeah, OCD goal brain grabbed onto that idea. And for the last 6 years, this will be the seventh year, I've tried to write 80,000 words in August. 3 times I succeeded. 3 times I crashed and burned because, yes, I'm a glutton for punishment. So the tiers are 18K, 48K, and 80K. So this is kind of our Nomo Nano replacement. And it's writing or editing. And then we have plans. The plans are for writing every day. If you want to set up an everyday writing habit, 31 days in August. If you are doing the tier 1, which is 18K, that means writing 580 words per day, plus an additional 20 words for the month to reach the number. Tier 2 is 48K. That is writing 1,548 words a day for 31 days, plus the additional 12K. And then tier 3 is the 80K. That's the big one. It is 2,580 words a day for 31 days, plus 20 additional words. But we realize people have lives, so there's 2 other plans. Plan number 2 is that you are writing or editing 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, Tuesday through Saturday, Wednesday through Sunday, whatever your 5 days are, Thursday through Monday, whatever your 5 days are, you write for 5 days, you take 2 days off per week. And I did the math because, yes, I love math. Math makes everything easier. Tier 1 for the 18K, that is 858 words a day, 5 days a week. Tier 2 for the 48K is 2,288 words per day, 5 days a week. Tier 3, 80K, that is 3,818 words a day, 5 days a week. Take your 2 days off. Plan 3 is if you are only writing on the weekends or your weekend equivalent, because not everybody has Saturday and Sunday off. Some people have Tuesday and Wednesday off. Some people have Tuesday and Thursday off. Some people have Monday and Wednesday off. Whatever your 2 days a week off are, it'll, because of the way the calendar falls, this allows you for 10 days. So you have 10 writing days on the weekend only plan. And of course, because it's 10 days, the math is easy. Tier 1, 18K, 1.8 thousand words per day. Tier 2, 48K, 4.8 thousand words per day for your 2 days a week. Tier 3, 80K, 8,000 words per day on your 2 days per week. So writing or editing or a combination of both. The whole thing with the All the Words August, ATW August, is that you develop a routine for you. you develop something that allows you to have a daily or weekly practice of expressing your creativity to feed yourself, to feed your soul, because writing is fun. We're supposed to love writing. We're supposed to love editing. Still working on that one. But this is to help develop a system of going through one thing at a time. All right. All right. Backing up a little bit. Eva says we have heat warnings through Thursday. Yeah, we all hate that. Cat Paw says we have heat warnings too. On average, it's 1 degree warmer every day compared to last year. Hottest year on record. Cat, oh yes, please go to Kat's Ko-fi page. She has trackers for it. Let me see if I can pull that up. Why is it not letting me do this? What is going on with this page? It's just not letting me get into Ko-fi. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, Kat's Ko-fi page has trackers. She's doing the 18K over 31 days. So she's doing tier 1, plan 1. You're still not a mod? I thought for sure I had set you up as a mod. Hold on. Or did I forget? It's very possible that I forgot because I had. Okay, are you a mod now, Kat? Check it now. Yay, you're a mod now. Okay. Check out Kat's channel. She has got the different. Yay. Okay, it's fixed. I fixed it. Yes. Check out Kat's Ko-fi channel. She's made us some wonderful artwork for it that is absolutely adorable. And she makes trackers because she loves doing things in Canva, which I have no skill at. And then please check out all the different channels. Pretty much a lot of author tubers so far. There's like 30 or 40 author tubers that are hopping onto this All the Words August writing challenge. And it's I think the thing that appeals to people is that it's about the routine and not the word count. And so, yeah. If you miss a day, you miss a day, because hashtag life happens. If you miss a week, you miss a week. Life happens. So we are offering all levels and all schedules. So, all right. Thank you so much for joining. That link takes you straight to the trackers. So yeah, I will be putting that. I'll be putting it, all the information and the link to the Google Doc in the video information after the stream. Thank you so much for joining us for this episode of Breaking the Block. Almost everybody who normally does this is they either have summer things going on this weekend, and there's several of them that are at the Right Women Conference in Maryland. So we hope that they are all having an awesome time and hanging out as writers, because that is what we all want to do. We all just want to be able to meet and hang out together. I am Mama Maggie Ward, independent author, stroke survivor, migraine overcomer. Thank you so much for joining me for Breaking the Block today. I hope my rambling made sense. Be blessed.